to the 1999 West Gippsland Football League Grand Final, together with my fellow commentator Derek Brown. Good afternoon, Derek.
Welcome, Bob. We look forward to a very good day's football here, and hopefully the weather stays fine for everyone.
Particularly us up here. Derek, the ground conditions.
Yeah, look, to be honest, I've seen it over a long period of time, Bob, as you have, and probably this is as poor as I've seen it with probably the weather the way we've had it, to be honest.
Yeah, that's true, but I think it shouldn't interfere with the game as a spectacle. I've been here since 9 o'clock this morning, and every game's been exactly the same. The players have been able to run with the ball, mark it very efficiently, and kick to position. So I can't see any reason why it should take away from the game as a spectacle.
That's right, and I think probably, getting up to the senior side too, they use the ball a little bit better, and we'll probably see a little bit different style of play, I would think, than the seconds.
That's true. Maybe we're quiet for the national anthem. Well, there's the national anthem, and both sides look pretty tense. I was in the Tooradin rooms before the game, Derek, and I didn't see Ricky Tooradin wasn't in the room, so he's obviously missed out on a game. He was injured a fortnight ago, and it was going to be hard for him to come up, but he's not in the side, so they've made two changes. Experienced players in Steve Hamill, who played a great qualifying final match, and Peter Vandermeer have come into the side, and I didn't get the outs. You might know who they were. And I think Beaconsfield have made one changes. Barry Zeldenrick, who injured his shoulder last week, has been replaced by the experienced Peter Walker.
Yes, and it's nice to see Peter back in the side. He's been a stalwart of Beaconsfield, so that's a very good effort for Peter, and hopefully it'll. Things will be very fruitful for him. With regards to Ricky Tyrrell, I did see him outside the rooms, prior to the game, and he looked very disappointed. And there's not too many opportunities where you can go and play in a senior grand final. And I suppose towards the end of a career, you'd like to play in as many games as you possibly can, Bob.
Yeah, and particularly Ricky too. The fact that he was assistant coach, he probably would have had to put himself out of the side. But it's not the first time. I remember. Another coach in Chris Pym, who's playing today. Chris put himself out of the team for the grand final in 1997 on the bench. Derek, who did we get?
Yeah, we've got for Tooradin, we've got Colin Plant and we've got Shane Cook. Beaconsfield, I'm just trying to have a look down there, Bob, just to see who's come off the ground for Beaconsfield.
Well, Shane Cashman's certainly off the ground, and Ben Mackay, that's two of the interchange.
And it looks like Craig Lane as well.
I think Lane would be the other one, yeah.
Now, what have we got matchup-wise? We've got, looking through Tooradin's forward line, we've got Brendan Robbins on Chris Pym. We've got John Garner and Peter Walker. Christian Studham from Beaconsfield on Leon Egan. That should be an interesting matchup. I think probably a little bit better on the ground, Leon, than
That's
Christian.
True, yep. And I think the ones that I'm looking for will be Edwards of Tooradin playing, and he has picked up Evans, as we suspected. And Lewin, McNally's on Lewin. That'll be interesting, because Lewin's played very well. He's a nuggety little bloke, and McNally's a big-time player, and I wonder who's picking up Clifford. I would expect, Clifford will play in the middle, won't he, out against Sherritt.
Yeah, there's a few tussles here too.
In fact, Lane is on the ground. Lane has got Mac.
Lane's just replaced Jason Reynolds. Reynolds has been taken straight off the ground, and they've got Lane onto Adrian Mack on the half-forward flank. He'll obviously be changing, Bob, I would dare say, with Darren Sherritt. So, the half-forward line ruck rover rotation will obviously be happening.
And it's interesting too that Egan looks to be playing deep at centre half forward, main down towards Garn, so he and Garn will be flying and Pym will be picking up the crumbs. A lot of experience there. Egan did play well last game, and I'm expecting if he can continue with that form, he could be a bit of trouble. Here it is, the bounce of the 1999 Grand Final. Umpire Brad Senior about to bounce the ball. He's got the siren, he's ready to go, he's taking his time as Clifford and Sherrod, down it goes, going up high. Blackley, no one gets the knock down, getting the ball out, Evans, and it's a tight bundle and everyone's in on the ball right from the start. And this could, hello, it's on already.
Hilton and Hamill,
Snyder, and whoa, everybody's having a go at the moment. Coming in, Robbins has run from centre half forward down to be in the play, and Senior's going to bounce the ball again.
Yes, Brad Senior bounced the ball again. A few tension, bit of tension and a few nerves. The ball goes down. Blackley and Bethune. Bethune will look to get it with the left hand. Right hand, in fact, taps the ball forward towards Tooradin. Ed McNally breaks the tackle, goes to kick. The ball smothered. Steve Hamill. Out the ball comes, out the back, out to Matt Reardon, out to Ross Jackson. Kicks on the left foot. Kicks the ball towards the half-forward line. Hayden Robbins is leading the ball. Justin Mantle and Robbie Arvantakis. It's in the back. Brad Senior's seen one out the side there. Arvantakis and Robbins are having a tussle right on the boundary there. And I think that's probably going to be fairly evident. They're going to try and upset things a little bit there. Kick by Evans to the half-forward line, Bob.
And up goes up, nobody gets it over the back of the pack and running, and it looks like, oh, I couldn't pick that player out from this distance. Cashman doesn't get the ball, dives in on it again, and it's out of bounds and it'll be a throw. And meanwhile, back at the interesting stage, they're still at it, Arvantakis and Robbins, as the ball's being thrown in the forward pocket for Beaconsfield, kicking towards the drain into the ground. And it'll be Mantle coming up in the ruck. No, coming over the top was Vandermeer, picked up by Clifford. He snaps for goal and puts the first score on the board. 1 point to Lee Clifford.
Yeah, very tight opening, and I think it's just going to take a little while for the nerves to settle. Peter Vandermeer, it looks like, or is it John Barton up there?
John Barton kicking off.
Plays on, runs out to the far side of the ground, or the main entry, kicks the ball along towards the half-back flank. Ross Jackson's there, but up goes Sherrod. Very good mark over the top there. Key player for them, Bob.
And a lovely player, and the 1999 medalist. He kicks it long to the half-forward line, and it's pushed over the boundary, I think, by Leon Egan. It looked like got the punch out there towards, on the half-forward flank for Tooradin. 5 minutes into the first quarter, the only score coming from Beaconsfield at this stage, 1 point. And Derek, I would believe the wind, the slight wind would be favouring the Beaconsfield end of the ground as Bethune gets the knockout, trying to get the ball through his rear, and he gets down on it now, and the pack develops again, and the umpire senior has found a free kick, and Matt Reardon will take it, and he'll go down wide on the flank. He'll be looking for Robbins. He goes towards Robbins. He goes up high. He doesn't get it. Snyder in the front of the pack. Coming through is Jackson, playing well since early stage. Kavanagh, he gets it across to
Shattuck.
Shattuck there. Shattuck
kicks the ball
towards
up. Luke Donaldson. Luke Donaldson kicks towards the middle, and here's Hilton. Hilton's just run right to the right spot. Bob, very interesting. I was just noticing while you were calling there that Hilton's starting off in the middle of the ground, and then he's just coming out to the members' side wing, and McNally's then going onto the ball. Young Llewellyn there injured in that marking contest.
I think what's going to Hilton will have a free running role today, I believe, Derek, and he'll just roam around the ground. He's probably not as fit as we'd like him to be from a Beaconsfield's point of view, but he's still such a player who's played league football, has a bit of talent there, and in fact he's gone seeking treatment as well, something to his knee. Llewellyn finished at the bottom of the pack. That's what the problem was there, and it doesn't look too good for him, and I think Tooradin could be in a bit of bother here simply because I think that all their reserves are big players, aren't they? Cook,
Colin Plant,
both,
I think young Gillespie, Bob.
Lachlan Gillespie, and both teams are gathered in the middle. It's a pretty, it slowed the game down by the fact Llewellyn is still down, being treated by trainer Riley there as umpire Glover looks over it, and the Tooradin runners just now coming out on the ground. Both teams have gathered in their packs. At least there's one advantage for Tooradin here, Derek, is that Captain Coach John Garn is on the ground, and be able to draw his troops together 5 minutes into the game will make it very interesting to see, be able to talk tactics again.
That's right. I think just a steadying moment. I think, look, there was nothing untoward with the contest there. Young Llewellyn was just caught under the ball a little bit. and Hilton's obviously just taken the mark, and he's just sort of run into a stray leg, I would say. It looks to me, Bob, whether they're that young Lachlan Gillespie, looks as if he's coming onto the ground, so they're replacing with their only quick player.
That's
and
right.
Also the youngest player to be playing today, Bob.
Yeah, and got good raps on Gillespie too. I noticed Hilton out there. He's still wandering around. He hasn't joined in the Beaconsfield pack. He's obviously got a problem with his right knee. But once he picks up the good medicine, the football, he is limping still. It's obviously very bad. Derek Llewellyn, he has not moved there. I don't know what's happening out there. They're calling for the stretcher, are they? Or
yeah, I think it's probably Hilton's knee. It might be that's run into, has sort of collected the young fella there. As I said, there was certainly nothing untoward about it, but it looks as if Hilton's hurt his knee as a result of the clash, and obviously young David Llewellyn is not real good at all. They've got the St John's ambulance people coming onto the ground now. There's a little bit of uncertainty. The crowd's all quiet, and there's plenty of people here too, Bob.
Derek, we didn't get your tip. We're just getting away from the game at the moment. We didn't get your tip for who do you think will win?
Well, we were talking earlier, Bob, and I thought the weather conditions would probably sort of suit Tooradin. But look, to be honest, with the start that they've just had now, I think Beaconsfield can probably win the game. It might be a little bit too quick on the ground for Tooradin.
Now, Derek, I just want to break in there. I don't think what Beaconsfield are doing at the moment is within the rule books. Umpire Senior has let them run around, handballing the ball. Oh, he's gone in now to take the ball. I'll tell him to stop. No, you can't do that. Yeah, I had tipped Beaconsfield. I'd been impressed with their run-ups into the games they have. No, sorry, it wasn't. It was their own ball that they'd brought out in the ground. I'd been impressed with the way they played in the finals. They did give, in the qualifying, they did give Tooradin a 7-goal start in the first quarter, and they never got in front, but they did catch up to them and only failed by a goal to win the game. And they certainly did it well against Rock last week and Pakenham the week before. This is a lot more serious than we think. Young Llewellyn's injury. There's more people going out there.
Yeah, they look reasonably calm about it, but just the fact that St John's there, and obviously the umpires have stopped the game. There must be nearly I would suggest some sort of head injury.
Yeah.
Somewhere around the neck or something like that, and they're just a little bit frightened to be moving him. And it's very unfortunate for a young fella, Bob, too. His first grand final.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, terrible.
He's been playing some very good football. He was excellent in their semi-final win against Rock. I mean, he just kept boring in. He's got normally wears the head guard too. So.
That's right, yeah. Meanwhile, Beaconsfield have continued to run up and down the ground, and in fact, Derek, this is probably one of the longest delays I've ever seen in a football match. Normally they get players off very quickly, but Llewellyn's still down, and they are, as you said, taking their time with removing him from the ground. Now, there must be blood because, good being doctors from this distance, isn't it? There must be blood because the St John person has put gloves on now.
Yeah, there's plenty of people there.
Meanwhile, John Garn, the coach, has just gone over and he's now on the Jordan frame and will be taken from the ground.
Bob, just while we've got a moment, it'd be, I haven't heard what the report was from the West Gippsland delegates meeting the other night, but I do hear bits and pieces in my travels, and subsequently they're wanting a status quo situation.
That's exactly right. They have rejected the task force, the transcript of the task force recommendations in full. So there was not one part of the recommendations for of the task force to the BCFL that they've taken on board. Yeah. So they are adamant that they'll go ahead, and it's interesting too, Derek, that I spoke to the secretary of the Mornington Peninsula League over the weekend on Thursday, and there had been no discussions with Mornington Peninsula at all about Berwick, nor the Berwick club, and Berwick are supposedly playing in the new competition. Now Gillespie's come onto the ground, he's gone straight to the forward pocket. This will be interesting to see Lane will come back and play on him. And just trying to pick up Gillespie.
I'll just have a bit of a lean over the top here.
Don't get too close.
Yeah, all around the mouth there, Bob. Yeah. All around his mouth, unfortunately, and he doesn't look very well at all. So we're just about ready with play to resume with Mark Glover letting play resume. We're probably 20 metres out. Directly in front is Hilton, and he'll be kicking to the main drain end of the ground. Lines up and kicks truly. So that's the first. That's the first for Beaconsfield. So we're 1-1 at this stage, Bob, to no score at all, and every Beaconsfield player, which is a good sign, really. I mean, you need everyone contributing, but everyone's gone up to him and given him a pat on the back. I think Russell Rowe this year has been very impressive in the way he's got this team together after their dismal performance last year of playing as a team, and every time they do kick a goal, I've noticed that particularly in the finals that everyone does run and congratulate one another. Our senior's about to bounce the ball again. 1-7 to nothing at this stage. The ball bounced, not a good bounce, favours Blackley. He just taps it over his head towards Clifford, and Clifford kicks it out wide, picked up by Kavanagh. Kavanagh goes deep into the forward pocket towards Garn, and Garn and Walker did. Garn tumbled over Walker there. Walker gets a handball out towards Clifford, and the ball goes out of bounds. Now Clifford came into this game supposedly, Derek, with rib injuries, and he hasn't shown it so far because he's been right in the middle of the play, and he could be a very effective player and will be a key player for the Eagles this afternoon as the ball's thrown in. Getting up the back at Sherritt. It's picked up by Studden. He gets it towards Lane. Sherritt's running to the ball. He gets it. Handballs it across to Schneider. It's not going to hit Schneider, though. As coming through hard as Kavanagh. He gets one over the shoulder. It's not played. Kicked over the shoulder by Hasty towards the full forward line. Punched away. Egan gets the ball. No. Hilton picks up. Gets it wide to Walker. He'll be looking for a big game. He goes towards the boundary as Shattuck is pursued by Bethune. This will be a one-man race as Shattuck gets the ball, and a very poor kick indeed from an experienced player. Puts it out on the centre wing. A very poor kick by Danny Shattuck, but he didn't have anybody to kick to, so he probably thought the lesser of two evils, as Vandermeer will bring it back into play. Vandermeer kicks along with the left, looking straight towards centre half forward. Egan is the man. Sherritt was up as well. Hovey, Reardon on the right, his unpreferred foot, and kicks it out again, right in front of the Tooradin coach's box. Now, who'll take the kick here? Adrian Mack and young Dean Hasty. Dean Hasty was probably the closer, but Adrian Mack's got it. Quite good with disposal. Kicks along again, kicks up. Punched by Clifford to John Garn, in close. Garn all over Walker, and the ball's right down low. And Garn, I think, just giving him a bit of a touch up there. And young Brad Senior in his first grand final, Bob, I think.
It is, umpiring. Yes. He felt a bit sorry the other night, Derek. We were at a function, you recall, and he was looking forward to this game with great delight. And it's a big test for a young bloke to be umpiring his game, but he seems to be very cool in the cross. He is throwing the ball up it goes. Garn tries to get the punch out with Studham. It's still high in the air. It comes towards Hasty. He gets bumped by Blackley. Bethune gets down on the ball, taps it across. Blackley going towards, picks it up, handballs towards Clifford, and that goes out of bounds again.
Just right in front of us here, Bob. Now the ruck duel, what have we got? We've got Sherritt, who's been dropping off the ball and going forward, and I see just a little thing that he's wearing the grass cats, Bob, in conditions like this. So interesting to see how he stands up. Blackley and Bethune. Bethune's got the height advantage. Blackley gets the ball out the back. Adrian Mack. Ball falls forward to Hamill, over the top. Lane's in there. Clifford, great hands. Hands again, he's gone. No, over the top. Over there to Luke Donaldson. Reardon keeps running through the middle, kicks long with the left foot. Looking to the leader, Troy Cashman. Great mark out in front of John Barton.
Wonderful play by Reardon. He was in the thick of it and ran the whole way down as Cashman kicks short, and it's picked up. And he's going to get a 50 metres here, Hasty. Dean Hasty will get a 50 metre on Danny Shattuck. Shattuck shows him the ball, and Robbins, he has to be in it as well. He pats Hasty on the head, which won't do much good for Hasty's temperament at this time, but Shattuck should put this through. It was a bit of a soft one, I felt, from Glover, but they're showing their ascendancy early in the game from the 50-metre penalty. It's the second goal put through for Beaconsfield by Danny Shattuck, and they go to 2 goals, 1-13. Looking all right, Derek.
Yeah, and very good in close, Bob. You know, Clifford's hands there to Reardon, and Reardon was then able to forward on. I thought at one stage, I called that he was gone, Shattuck, but he was able to get the ball clear to young Luke Donaldson. And, you know, I think their hands in close at this stage is very, very good. Tooradin seems to be falling over the ball. A couple of their players just sort of leaning over the top of it rather than sort of trying to get a clear possession. The ball up in the middle with Brad Senior. He'll be bouncing the ball. Bethune, the big fella from Tooradin, looks to get a hand. Blackley's all over him. And in there also is Evans underneath. Evans again. Oh, he ducks the head and tries to get the handball free. It's still a scramble in there. Clifford again. Out to Ross Jackson. Did he have the ball? No. Ed McNally breaks free with strength. Play on. Oh, they've disadvantaged Beaconsfield there, Bob.
I think he felt that why he called it back was that Beaconsfield hadn't really cleared the ball down. Well, they have brought it back to where McNally's got his free kick. And he'll go down the centre of the ground, I think, looking towards Robbins and Arvanatakis. Arvanatakis gets the push, but it's Vandermeer coming over the back, who punches away, but picked up beautifully here by O'Callaghan, gets it across to Clifford. Clifford goes towards the goal. Snyder should mark the ball, continuing to move away from him here, and there'll be a ball up, no doubt, as Vandermeer and Robbins go to ground. Now, I notice Vandermeer is playing close to Robbins too, Derek, even though Arvanatakis is his immediate opponent. Yes. So obviously Vanders is going to jump over from behind and try and punch the ball clear at all times when they go for a mark.
With those extremely long arms, Bob.
Very long arms. Part of the Dutch mafia in the Tooradin side, and he gets it to another member of the mafia in Steve Hamill, his brother-in-law. But it's Hovey coming through hard, slips over at the wrong moment. He tries to get his handball cut off by Egan, but they don't make the most of it as Egan again jumps into it. It's Hovey again. He gets pushed back of the pack, still gets his kick out over towards Bethune. He marks, handballs to Kavanagh, playing well early. In on to Hamill. Now here's their first big chances. Hamill will draw the players and kick towards goals, and he does it, and he has put it through for the first point for Tooradin. Approximately, well, it's hard to say how long into the game we've been going. We've probably been playing about 7 or 8 minutes in real time, but there's been about 8 or 9 minutes of time off.
Just a turn over there, Bob, from Chris Hovey in the middle of the ground. He wasn't sure when he got up. He was certainly clear and slipped, and then he just was a little bit unaware of where he was. Kick out, Amalfi in front, very strong. Good hands out to from Clifford to McNally. On again to Lane, a good shepherd to Hilton. He usually uses the ball well. Kicks the ball long, looking for Troy Cashman. Troy Cashman contests, and in there is Robbins and Airdrie, who's in there for Tooradin. They're holding the ball up, and 2 of them, and the ball has been held in, and subsequently a free kick to Ben Airdrie. Very good kick, very good overhead mark, Ben Airdrie. Now what can he do here? Can they open it up a bit? Robbins is going to the square, and they should be kicking long to there. Great kick, right to the edge of the square. Robbins is there, Shattuck's there, taps the ball back in, and then rushed through by Peter Vandermeer for a rush point there, Bob.
2-2-14 Beaconsfield, and when they're getting the ball moving, they're looking much more cleaner than Tooradin at this particular stage, as the Tooradin runner goes out on the ground to talk to Coach Garn. And it's Arvanatakis now. He can kick a football, and he'll go long towards Bethune. No, he hasn't. He's looked for Vandermeer. He gets a push in the back. Airdrie grabs the ball from behind, picked up by Donaldson, kicks it towards the centre. Hilton, a good player so far. He's dragged, and he's been played in the back by the umpire against Amalfi, who I think is now tagging Hilton on the centre of the ground. He'll go towards centre half forwards, towards Robbins, and going up high was McNally. He doesn't get the ball, but Shattuck shepherding well, beautifully puts it out towards Cashman. And whilst Cashman hasn't taken the mark, he'll certainly take the free kick for a very easy push in the back by Barton, and that was a very easy free kick. He was probably going to mark the ball anyway, but Cashman's already causing a bit of trouble. He'll be too quick for Barton in my book down there. We'll see how the game progresses.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. Barton early in the year was playing off a wing and giving them a fair amount of drive. So, you know, I'd be a little bit reluctant. Kicks short here and kicks to Ed McNally. Now, why they wouldn't be picking up players at this particular stage of the game? Everyone's fresh. You know, concentration should be at its highest level. But McNally's got the ball, and he's usually a very good kick. But the thing, Bob, I was impressed with there was the contest was at centre half forward, and Beaconsfield had the little players running onto the ball in Shattuck, and beautiful off his offside, you know, to Cashman.
And McNally has kicked a goal, has he?
Yes, he has. Very good kick. So that puts them at 3-2, Bob. 3-2 to Tooradin solitary behind.
Yes, Tooradin won't want Beaconsfield to get too much further ahead in this quarter. I think that they've got to at least kick a goal themselves, because they'll recall the last time they met where they had 8 goals started. And what was that, Derek? You're pointing out that...
Yeah, Sherritt's just come off the ball.
Sherritt's coming off the ball, and going into the middle is Mack, who'll add a bit of strength. Lane, there's obviously... Lane will stay on Sherritt, but it's McNally, Clifford and Shattuck doing the damage at this stage, Derek, as the ball goes high. Clifford again getting the ball out. They're getting first use of the ball. He's dropped it short to Shattuck. Shattuck will go long down towards Donaldson and Robbins. It's punched away again by Tooradin. Coming through hard is Donaldson. He can't get the ball. A pack's developed. Be a ball up. No, the umpire's letting it go, but he'll ball it up now. Right at the centre half forward position for Beaconsfield. 3-2-20 to Tooradin solitary behind. Tooradin will need to get something on the board in the next few minutes to get a bit of momentum up, because they're not playing very well at the moment. The ball goes high. Vandermeer. It's knocked out by Airdrie. The ball goes down. It goes towards Jackson. He gets the ball. Kavanagh gets in. Handballs to Hamill. He fumbles with it. The ball's clear. Airdrie again. Out towards Hilton. Hilton will find somebody as he goes forward towards Cashman. Shattuck again reading the ball beautifully off the pack. Goes towards home. An open goal, but knocking back, going back is John Barton, and Barton takes a safe mark. As Barton at full back goes in short towards Mack, who's loose there. He's marked the ball, was going to play on, but saw Robbins was hard on his hammer, and he's going back to have his kick. He's going to go wide towards Sherritt now. Sherritt will go up. He doesn't mark the ball. He punches it out to Aaron Hastie. Hastie drives it towards the centre line. Egan and Studden. Studden will be a bit quick for Egan, and he's forced the ball out of bounds.
And they've made that change too, Bob. I was with young Craig Lane, therefore picking up Darren Sherritt. Now they've put Matt Reardon to follow him. A little bit more bulk and a little bit more size, and Lane's gone on to Gillespie. The ball gets thrown in. At the Gruck contest, Blackley, no one competes for the ball. McNally's underneath. He looks to break free and kick the ball clear. Gets the ball on. Sherritt looks to handball. Pure strength there over the top of the shoulder by Studham. And Hastie comes in to remonstrate. And yeah, so there was certainly no need really for that from Hastie, and yet Studham's retaliated, and subsequently, they've got 50. Snyder comes into, lend weight, and the emergency umpire. Now, why would he be on the ground is absolutely amazing. Both field umpires are within 10 metres of the contest, and the emergency has to run out.
That's right, yeah. And in fact, Snyder was very bad play by him. Sure, he had to back up his teammate, but he ran 3/4 of the ground to do it. As Darren Sherritt will go for goal now.
Very short 52, Bob.
It was from up here, Derek. It's good to be able to see. And he's put it through from that free. Their first goal, Tooradin. 17 minutes into the first quarter. Tooradin 1-1-7, trailing Beaconsfield 3-2-20. And foolish play by a very experienced player in Chris Studden, who should have known better than that. Of course, we had a bird's eye view, and it should come up very good on the camera.
And interesting, he's just pure strength, Sherritt, isn't he? He just keeps trying to get the ball. And interesting, during the year, during the Interleague program, Bobby mentioned that he's played in 6 winning grand final sides, so he's got experience.
I was talking to him at training on Thursday night, that's right, and he's only ever played in 1 losing grand final side, and that was a junior team. As the ball's bounced down again, going up high as Blackley. Bethune gets a lovely knockout towards Mack and Lane. Nobody gets the ball. Lane dives in on it. Hamill gets it out. He's tackled, gang tackled by Evans and someone from behind, Clifford. So Clifford's certainly throwing himself in, and doesn't look to be any problems with those supposedly crook ribs that he's got.
And the ball with Brad Senior in the middle of the ground. Evans has been quiet, Bob, from Beaconsfield. As the ball goes down, Blackley gets the left hand to it. Amalfi just kicks the ball straight forward, right in the middle of the ground. Brendan Robbins is there. He taps the ball forward. Young Aaron Hastie will make ground here. Can he keep it in? He does. And it's a point. Very well done. He tried to centre the ball, and it's through for a point. Now Walker will kick out. And they're looking to make a change as well, Tooradin, with Colin Plant coming onto the ground, and it looks as if Chris
Kim's
going off, yes. Walker kicks in, kicks to the far side of the ground, and he's looking for big Troy Blackley. There he is, tries to mark over the back, kicked forward, Walker's got a bit of work to do here. As the ball props, Steve Hamill breaks clear, looks up, kicks the ball for yet another behind to the same side as before from Steve.
Yes, I can't understand why Pim went off. He called the trainer and he's gone off. Could have been the blood rule, I don't know, but Plant comes on. A bit more bulk, which I don't think is the best thing. The bulkier players are finding it very hard to stand up at this Tooradin end of the ground, Derek. I just noticed then as Peter Walker goes long out towards Hobie, coming over the top of Malfi. Nearly's taken a mark. He's been paid the mark. And Malfi's been paid the mark here, and that's fair enough too. He had his hands on the ball. They don't. Yes, they're settling down now. Everyone's calling. You can hear from here. He's going to hand. He goes long towards Sherrod again. Over the top was Jackson, and Jackson comes out with the ball over towards Hobie, playing good football at the moment, Hobie. But another kick. It seems to me, Derek, this kicking out, that's the third time they've kicked out on the full, and they don't seem to be too worried about it, Beaconsfield. And as the Malfi with the ball again, he goes out towards Sherrod again. Blackley should mark this, dropping back. Yes, and he takes a very safe mark, and he's gone down. It must have been the sun.
Yes, the big fella dropping back into the hole, and they're looking at having Sherrod deep in the forward line when they're going forward. Blackley looks to kick. He's not quite sure where to go. Ed McNally's making a move towards the middle of the ground, but he kicks to the grandstand side. Who's he looking for? Hilton. He's outnumbered here. Amalfi punches the ball. Lane's there. Handball's over the top. Well done. And the contest with Shattuck and Amalfi, and the ball goes out of bounds.
Amalfi's having a good couple of minutes here, testing well, has taken 2 marks, and Tooradin looking a little bit better at this particular stage as the ball will be thrown in on the half-forward flank. The ruckman's going either into the ground, Blackley, and Bethuna goes over the heads towards Studham. Reading it beautifully is Steve Hamill. He goes long, goes over the top of everybody, shooting for goal. That seems to be another tactic. Studham picks up the ball. He breaks the clear too quick for Plant, and Studham's not that quick. And Kavanagh falling over marks onto Hamill. Now playing well. He's had a third shot at goal, and he had to get one sooner or later. And Steve Hamill kicks his first goal of the game, and Tooradin go to 2-3-15 to 3-2-10.
Very well done, Kavanagh. I mean, while he lost his footing there, Bob, he still had the awareness to get the handball free. Hamill's been able to run free numerous times through this middle of the ground. And Hovey and Plant, whose Plant has just come on the ground,
well,
he's a big fella.
It wasn't only Hovey and Plant, it was Plant and Clifford at one stage. So he's come on the ground, Plant. He allowed a bit of muscle. He certainly won't add pace, but he's gone straight to centre half forward. And maybe he's being a bigger man, he might be able to stand his ground firmly there, but they are having trouble standing up now. Tooradin right back in this game now, 2-3-15, bounced down by Senior. Up they go. Blackley gets the knockout towards Jackson and Kavanagh. And Jackson will be given a free kick, playing on a wing today on Kavanagh. Obviously, Kavanagh's been regarded as a key player, and Ross Jackson drives deep down towards centre half forward. Going high was Robbins. It's knocked away from him, but Shattuck brilliantly roving the pack today. He doesn't get it. Hasty will be on his hammer. He does get it now. No, it's Amalfi coming through. Handballs it across towards Edwards. Edwards gets tackled by Clifford. Picked up by McNally again. He goes deep towards centre half forward. Those long arms of Vandermeer get the ball out towards Bethune. He knocks it on towards Kavanagh. Kavanagh gets pushed in the back. No free kick from Donaldson. Picked up here by Mack. He goes towards centre half forward with a torpedo punt. Plant can't mark it. He does show a bit of toe there as he goes towards Walker. Garn has marked. Beautifully played, Johnny Garn, and through. Good play by Colin Plant at centre half forward. Adrian Mack's long kick, and that was great play.
Yeah, very, very well done there. Colin Plant turned on the left, kept his footing, kicked the ball long to the square, to the danger zone, and just a bit of out-muscling there by John Garn. He kicks his first. Well, so yeah, we're getting a contest here, Bob.
It's a great game now, and it's interesting we said Plant would be able to stand on his footing, and that emergency umpire, who has not gone off the ground, is now out there. Let it get on with it, number 14, whoever you are as emergency umpire. Let them play the game. And Plant has added a bit of muscle out there, and he's sooling. He's got the arms. He's like a professional wrestler as he's got those arms ready out there, Derek. And he's obviously gone out there to add a bit of strength against a player like Chris Studham.
And played a lot of good football at Cranbourne too. So, I mean, he knows what it's all about. Glover bounces the ball. Blackley up. Bethune, no, just drops straight in the middle there. And it's just a mad scramble. Jackson comes off the wing. They look to clear the ball, but Glover says, I'll have it, thanks very much.
I think we'll see Mackay coming on pretty quickly, Derek. Blackley's done fairly well, but Rowie in the finals has intended to bring Mackay on as a bit of a pinch hitter, and he did well in the last game as the ball's bounced down by Glover. Blackley gets in front, but it's Hamill now playing very well. Out towards Hasty, but it's pushed out of his hands by Robbins. He gets the ball. That's Brendan Robbins, gets the ball wide, and it's Shattuck and Aaron Hasty going for the ball. It's Dean Hasty. Hasty's on top of it. It's Bethune. Great play by the veteran. Gets it towards centre half forward. Coming out hard as Garn. He'll run in a straight line. Gets it towards Sherritt. Sherritt gets a call from Edwards, but he lets it go. Gillespie drops the mark. He gets up again. He's up now. Well done, young fella. Good goal.
Great recovery, Bob, isn't it?
Tremendous recovery by the young bloke then to get on the ground, fall on the ground, get up, keep his hand on the ball and put it through for a goal.
Yeah, he's been given his opportunity coming onto the ground with the unfortunate incident with, well, not incident so much, but injury to young Llewellyn. He's come on and he's playing in the forward pocket and just really well done. Just ran to the goal face. Shearer's kicked the ball to the danger spot, didn't think he could kick the goal, and subsequently they've been able to get the desired result.
Seems to me there's a tactic of Tooradin. They kick the ball to the goal face whether there's anybody there or not, Derek, from up on our bird's eye view head. Glover bounce down again. Blackley high, gets the tap down, but it's Mack getting the ball. He's still got the ball. Pushes out towards Hamill, now playing good football. Out towards Amalfi. He's also goes for the big long torp. We're seeing a few torps today. Studden doesn't mark it. Reardon gets it back to Studden. He goes towards the centre of the ground. McNally, unusually for him to mark it. It's Amalfi 2-on-1 here with Clifford and McNally over Amalfi coming in his shirt, but umpire Glover will take the ball and bounce it down on the centre wing position.
And they're away too, Beaconsfield. If they were able to get a clear possession there, they had 2-on-1. Amalfi did a fantastic job to get that ball held in. Glover bounces the ball. The two big fellas, left hand from Blackley, and the ball's wrapped up again. Yeah, Hilton and Amalfi. Now that'll be quite a good contest because they're hard at the ball. Amalfi throws the ball back. Edwards and Evans haven't left each other's side. But Steve Hamill seems to be running free. Blackley, yep, there's the ball. Edwards gets free, kicks the ball forward. Studham drops the mark. He made the ground and got in front, and he's been held. Play on through Hovey. Hovey kicks with the right foot, kicks the ball long, looking for Luke Donaldson and Benny Edry. Benny Edry just runs through, cops one high too. He's in Disneyland too. He's right to the head there. Justin Mandel can't get the ball clear. He backs up again, gets the ball, kicks the ball long towards the centre wing. Egan's in front, and there's Hovey again. Hovey breaks clear, kicks with the right foot towards Hayden Robbins. He's outnumbered 3-1, and there's Robert Arvantakis. He gets the ball right into the middle ground. There's Hamill, Steve Hamill, lost his footing. Plants trying to hold him back, and Studham gets the ball, kicks the ball long towards centre half forward. Who's there? O'Callaghan and Justin Mantle doing a very good job on that half-back line. Mantle's got the ball.
Good young player, Mantle. Could be a key to this game because he runs all day. He kicks it wide towards Aaron Hasty. Can't pick it up. Mack now playing very well in the hard stuff. Gets the ball towards Gillespie and Lane. Lane's got the front of it here. He punches it out towards Reardon, playing a great game. Back to Walker, and there's the Walker. Not very good in this case as he's kicked it to probably the best man on the ground, in my opinion, at this stage, Mark Amalfi, and he takes another mark. Amalfi goes towards centre half forward, and Garn, he goes high at the ball. Hamill slips again, but he does pick it up. No, he doesn't. He loses it again. Now picks it up, kicks it towards Sherritt and Reardon. Reardon playing well. He punches it away from Sherritt, and it's now Edwards and Walker. Walker far too slow, and I think Sean Edwards will get a free kick here. Tackled by Amalfi, by Reardon when he didn't have the ball, and that's Edwards will have a free kick. Now he's in the dead pocket, in my opinion, Derek. The ball will be pushing. He'll be pushing into the wind here, and there'll be, I imagine, the big fella, big boy Bethune. No, he's dropped
Adrian
in
Max
short.
right in the middle of the ground, and he's 3 or 4 yards clear. He should kick to the top of the square. He's gone for goal.
He's gone for goal, all right.
Kicked that through. What a magnificent kick. Now that is a very, very good kick from that location. The wind's just going straight into his face. I was thinking that he might go for the top of the square and give his forwards a chance, Bob.
So did I, Derek. I didn't think he had hope in hell, but maybe from where we're sitting and where he was kicking, there is a bit of, from the cypress trees there, he probably was getting a bit of wind assistance or non-assistance, not pushing it away. And they've looked really good, Derek. They've kicked the last 5 goals now after Beaconsfield early sortie for 3 goals, and it's the experience of the Hamills, the Amalfis and the Macks in the middle that are doing all the good work.
And plenty of numbers around the ball, Bob, too. That's the difference.
Exactly.
The ball goes down. Brad Senior puts the ball down. Big Greg Bethune with the left hand and still allows their midfielders to run free. Mack on his left foot, preferred side, kicks the ball looking for Garn. Garn in front. Here's Walker. Keep the ball in front of him. Good work. John Garn's got it. Ooh, just threw that out. And there's Amalfi. Out Blackley, keeping the ball in front, and Aaron Hasty there again. Shepherds for his big teammate, and Greg Bethune goes to ground, taps the ball back, Amalfi's there, tackled now. He's tackled. I thought he dropped it too. They were looking for it in the back, but Hilton, a professional campaigner now, he was able to get the ball with the tackle. Kicks towards Hayden Robbins. He hasn't seen much of it at this stage, and he's pushed by Arvin Tarkas. What I thought to be pushed, and yeah, there's a bit of carry-on going on here between the two of them. Both very talented players in their own right, Bob.
Very talented and also very temperamental, Derek, as unfortunately we can't see it from where we're seeing now as Arvin attacks. It'll be a long kick towards Egan. He goes high, keeps his eye on the ball, but it's Hilton who gets it out towards Brendan Robbins. Touch off the mark. Bethune doesn't mark it. He runs into his own player Snyder there, and it'll be a ball up. Senior and Glover right on top of this game, and it's good to see they're umpiring very well in my opinion at this stage, not letting the occasion get to them. Glover are very experienced, Senior in his first grand final as he bounces the ball down now, and it'll be the two big fellas who'll go at it again as they've done it all day. It's knocked down by Bethune towards Edwards, but it's Donaldson with the run his young legs. He should be able to, beautifully tackled by Hamill. He's caught. Kavanagh falls over again. They're all falling over. Aaron Hasty to Mantle. Mantle will get his kick in. He gets it wide towards, it's Hamill again out by himself. He gets a bad bounce, but he does pick it up. Evans, he beats Evans, and Evans just runs away from the pack up towards Egan, and it's waiting back Hovey playing very well on the half-back flank towards Blackley. He doesn't mark it. He handballs a poor handball. He gets it again. No, he doesn't. It's locked in play here.
They just can't get it. They just can't get it out of those clinches. And I see Lee Clifford right behind asking for the change. I don't know whether he's directing traffic there, but wanting young McKay onto the ground and Troy Blackley off the ground. The ball right on the half-forward flank for Tooradin grandstand side. The ball goes down. Bethune and Blackley. Great contest. At the back of the pack is Kavanagh. Kavanagh kicks with the left foot, looking for Garn, but Walker's in front. Hasty cuts him off there, and Garn's still in the contest. Good shepherding from Hasty. They're sharing the ball round. Can Walker keep up with Hasty? He kicks the ball long to the square. The wind pulls it a little bit, but it will just stay in on the far side of the ground there, Bob. Big Bethune on the left foot. Blackley, he ducked his head there. He definitely ducked his head, in my opinion.
He might have ducked his head, but he's got the free kick as I'm watching now. Brendan Robbins out in front of me. I don't know whether he's performing for the crowd, but it's certainly good what he's doing from his point of view anyway. As the runner for Tooradin runs out, and it's now the big fella, big boy, Greg Bethune, having a shot for goal.
Can he kick it? Can he kick it?
Yes, he can. He's a very good footballer, this fella, and at this level of football, he should be able. He'll run round. He's run round a long way, and he's kicked it a long way, and he's kicked a point. Well, at least he scored, and he's kept the ball. 5-4-34 now, Tooradin, looking pretty good at this particular stage, Derek, in my opinion, my humble opinion, and I'm an unbiased supporter, as you are here, and it'll be Peter Walker. And they aren't they really struggling to hold their feet, though?
Yes, just very slippery on top for some reason. But I think, in fairness to everyone, I think that there is certainly a wind-assisted, going towards Tooradin's forward line. Lee Clifford marks right on the 50-metre line at centre-half back. He looks up the ground. Now, there's not too much movement there for him. They're trying to come from behind. Clifford kicks the ball long, looking for McNally, and he should mark. He does this time. Amalfi a little bit late on the scene. He's right on centre wing and the grandstand side. He kicks the ball long. It's a scrubby old kick, and young Snyder tries to pick the ball up. O'Callaghan, he tries to duck and weave, kicks over his head, kicks to the square. Back in goes Robin. Oh, Jackson, magnificently done from the back there. Can they get the ball out? Troy Cashman. No, it's quarter time. And they really needed one there, I thought, just to give them a little bit of an air of confidence going into quarter time.
Absolutely, Derek, because for the first 10 minutes was all Beaconsfield as they put 3 goals, 2 on the score to 1 point from Tooradin. But from there on in, it was Tooradin's game, and they added 5 goals, 3 to finish the quarter at 5 goals, 4, 34 to Beaconsfield, 3-2, 20. goal kickers for Tooradin in the first quarter were Sherritt, Hamill, Garn, Gillespie and Edwards, while the goal kickers for Beaconsfield were Hilton, Shattuck and McNally. And Derek, your thoughts on the first quarter of today's grand final?
Well, it opened up probably in Beaconsfield's favour. They sort of settled quickly. There was a little bit of rough and tumble towards Hayden Robbins on the far side of the ground, and Beaconsfield were able to take advantage of that and kick clear. I think they had the first 3 on the board before Tooradin was able to get their first major. But Steve Hamill, I think, is the biggest problem that Beaconsfield's got at the moment. He is just being able to run free. Now, I'm not at this particular stage, I'm not quite sure who's meant to be manning him up or running with him, but certainly Steve Hamill is creating a lot of problems. Amalfi, who you alluded to earlier in the call, Bob, he's been playing well. But I think there's just, they're sort of chopping and changing through the midfield, Beaconsfield, which is not just allowing them to have that sort of continuity.
I'd agree wholeheartedly there. Yes, I think what you said, Sherritt and Amalfi certainly been the best players. Early it was the trio of McNally, Shattuck and Clifford who were doing the damage for Beaconsfield, wasn't it? But I think what Beaconsfield are missing today and what they had last week is the ability of Evans to break clear and become a dominant player. In fact, I don't think Evans has had a kick at this particular stage of the game.
No, and I think probably also another one is the injury of Barry Zeldinrick. If you look at their goal kicking this year, if it's not Hayden Robbins, it's certainly been Barry Zeldinrick, and it gives them that other marking forward option. And at the moment, they're just sort of falling down across sort of half forward, and just sort of indirect football.
That's right. Well, I think we'll return to the studio at this particular time with Tooradin leading 5-4-32 to 3-2-20 in what has been a great opening quarter in the 1999 West Gippsland Football League Grand Final.
We're back for the second quarter, or the start of the second quarter. Now, it'll be interesting to see. We were just talking off air there, Bob. Beaconsfield seem to be falling away a little bit in the forward line. They just haven't been able to generate anything sort of across that half forward line and sort of further on into the forward line.
I see they've made the change, Derek, and Mackay has come on for Blackley, and they might be doing the quarter swap. But big fella Bethune, I don't think that should worry him too much. But young Mackay, I was very impressed with him last week. He keeps going all day, and for an 18, 19-year-old, that's what you want them to do.
Yeah, they've also made a positional change to Beaconsfield and got Luke Donaldson on the far wing on Kavanagh. Justin Mantle from Tooradin's picking up now Ross Jackson on the half forward flank. What have we got up the forward line for Tooradin as Brad Senior bounces the ball?
There's no change there as Gup Bethune gets the ball. It goes towards Mackay. He doesn't get the ball. Clifford's got the ball. I was listening to John Garn before the game, Derek, too, and he was saying every time you get hold of a Beaconsfield player, throw them to the ground hard. Make sure that you let them know that you're out there. So we're targeting Clifford. They weren't going to target Clifford. They were going to target the whole 18. And the ball's being bounced down again by umpire Senior. He bounced down, going high again. His Mackay leaps high, but it's Bethune standing his ground, gets it to Edwards. Edwards on towards Mack, who's now playing very good football. Very strong player, Adrian Mack. Hard to get around. He's got the ball, directs the ball. Oh, he doesn't. He hits the man on his mark, and Matt Reardon. Reardon goes forward towards O'Callaghan. He can't trap it. He backs up well now. Handballs it out towards Evans for his first kick of the game. He goes deep towards Barton. Barton can't mark, but he kicks it off the ground. Goes wide. It goes to Dean Hasty. Dean Hasty heads for the boundary. Goes long and wide, though, and it'll be thrown in on the half-forward flank for the Beaconsfield side on the far wing, on the Borbor side of the ground.
He should have kicked the ball longer. I think Evans coming through that forward line. Troy Cashman was expecting the ball to get over the back. Very well done by Barton as the ball's thrown in. Mackay pushes the ball forward. It's a scramble. The ball will be bounced up again by Mark Glover, or thrown up, should I say. Evans is at the bottom of the pack, and now he's obviously been given a bit of a whisper at quarter time and said we need to get a little bit more drive from you.
Well, that's right. Any man who kicked 8 goals last week would be expected to perform again today. But it was interesting as picked up by Clifford. He's getting a lot of the ball from the bottom of the pack. He goes back. Great mark taken by Arvin Atakis. Stretching back, they use these long arms of his, and he will go deep with that big kick of his. It goes 55 metres, and there's a free kick, I would say, against Aaron Hasty for jumping into the back of
Brendan Robbins.
No, it's gone the other way.
Oh.
No, I think he's just deciding now, the umpire, that he's paid it. No, it's going towards Egan. So Egan must have been pushed out before Hasty was into the back, and it's Leon Egan going wide out deep towards Sherritt. Sherritt goes high, beautifully pushed under the ball by Studham, or McNally, is it? No, it's McNally. And McNally, a good player, a fine mark overhead. He goes wide, going towards Robbins. He can't mark it. Picked up by Egan, now playing deep on the half-forward line. And it's picked up by Clifford. He doesn't get the ball. Mantell gets it wide towards Hasty. Hasty crosses towards the centre towards Hamill. He should have marked it. As a fight goes on here at the half-forward line between a Tooradin player and a Beaconsfield player, and the Beaconsfield player is underneath. I can't pick it.
Yeah, Cashman. It's Cashman. Just come onto the ground, Bob.
Shane Cashman, number 26. Yes, just on the ground. Only brought onto the ground when there's a bit of, when the things are going a bit tough for the Beaconsfield side, as Armin Atakis takes the ball. He goes wide towards Bethune, knocked out of the way by O'Callaghan. Picked up here by O'Callaghan. He goes wide towards Hilton. Hilton, Mackay it is. He goes in towards Troy Cashman. Can't mark it. Now it battles up. Beautifully tackled by Hamill, but partly it's played too high. And it'll be a free kick to Troy Cashman. Cashman at the true centre half forward position. He goes towards Shattuck, but jumping in there is Steve Hamill. He'll cool the play down here as he goes wide on the flank, looking for Aaron Hasty. He can't mark it. Hilton comes to the ground. Amalfi picks the ball up. He can't get his handball. Now he does, for nobody in particular. Mack and Gillespie go for the ball. Nobody gets it coming out of them. Is Reardon playing a great game. He gets it wide to Shattuck. Shattuck comes inboard towards Evans, and Evans takes his first mark of the match.
They're looking for him too, I think. You know, I mean, I thought that it was a bit of a dangerous option. He was against two. He kicks the ball well though, Evans. Evans kicks the ball, looking for Robbins. Up he goes, gets a hand to it, couldn't quite hold it. Arvantakis breaks free. There's Hasty. He was also supported by Kavanagh as he kicks the ball long to the wing. Underneath is Hilton again. All up for Beaconsfield. No one down. Same story again. And Hilton's hurt. Gillespie picks the ball up, handballs to Amalfi, and he looks for Egan. Egan out in front of Hovey. Egan on the half-forward flank, netball side of the ground. Kicks the ball long to the square, looking for Garn. Oh, big contest there. Has it been touched? It's through the middle. Has it been touched?
I'd say not, by the way they talk.
It's a goal. It wasn't touched. The contest was made at the top of the square and the ball's bounced through. And we spoke about that earlier, Bob. They kicked the ball long to the square regardless of who's there, and it's obviously paid dividends on this occasion.
Derek, I drifted away from the footy to get my coffee at the moment. Who kicked the goal? Was it Egan, was it?
Yeah, Leon Egan. Leon Egan's kicked the first of the second quarter. So it's 6-4, Tooradin, 40 points to Beaconsfield, half their score at 3-2-20. Beaconsfield's got a bit of work to do here, and they need to get this forward line operating. Up in the ruck is Ben Mackay and Big Bethune. He's doing a good job in there. Favours Bethune, he taps the ball forward. Hilton, he's up, he handballs the ball long. Shane Cashman and Snyder it was before, and there they are again. Away they go, they're tapping it, trying to break free. The ball's up, it's down. Scrambly football in the middle there. Evans breaks free, picks the ball up, handballs the ball clear. Robbins is free. Can he pick it up? He handballs back to Mackay, which was well done. He slips as he kicks the ball straight up in the air. Troy Cashman. Oh, big contest, and again, nobody down for Beaconsfield. Barton dodges, weaves, kicks the ball over his shoulder, looking for Edwards. He's ably supported by Bethune. He looks to get back on the right foot and kicks the ball long to the wing. Looking for Mack, he'll mark this. Oh, he nearly did too, but he's good enough recovery. He handballs the ball onto Egan. Egan on the left foot in the wing, kicks the ball forward. Who have we got there? John Garn and Peter Walker. Hovey kicks the ball forward, out to Hilton. Hilton will handball onto Hovey. Keep moving the ball. On to Clifford. Clifford's got the ball. He dodges, he weaves. He's tackled now and nearly dropped the ball. As they hold it up at the Tooradin side of the centre.
As I said, Derek, that Garn's instructions before the game were to play it hard and hit them hard and throw them hard. And that was perfect example of it there when I think it was Hamill that threw Clifford to the ground, and its umpire senior will bounce the ball. They certainly are a bit puzzled at the moment, Beaconsfield. They can't get that running game going, and all their gun players have certainly been covered, particularly across their strong half-forward line. Bounced down by senior. It's Bethune knocking it towards the forward line. Running onto the play is Sherritt. He goes straight towards Garn at goal. Nobody can mark it. Coming across the play there is Hovey. He'll take a free kick. He's been allowed to play on. He goes towards Hilton, and well marked by Hilton. beautifully using his body here. I still don't believe he's 100% fit, and he's going to go back now and look for somebody. Having a great battle, those two. He now goes wide onto the wing, looking here for Jackson. Jackson will go high, he doesn't have to. As the ball comes down into his chest, he judges it beautifully. He goes now towards centre half forward, looking for Robbins. Coming over the back, Vandermeer. Robbins out positioned again. Arvanatakis and Vandermeer are combining magnificently today. He goes wide towards Donaldson and Kavanagh. Kavanagh will let Donaldson get it, which he does, and then tackles him beautifully. And they've forced it out. Their tackling is beautiful at the moment. Tooradin, they're playing pretty good football.
Yes, they're very well drilled, aren't they? Vandermeer over the top again, and I think what has to happen in just watching that contest, Ben Edry needs to be well clear of Hayden Robbins to allow him a one-out competition. Subsequently, at the moment, Vandermeer's being able to be dragged into that 2-on-1 competition with Hayden Robbins, Arvanatakis and himself. Evans is out in front. He dodges, he weaves, he breaks free of Edwards, he kicks the ball long. He's a beautiful kick. Robbins will mark that. Beautiful mark.
Well marked.
Magnificent mark. He was in the right position, Bob. We could see it from here.
Great spot to be watching it from. He did give him a little push, but it was too far away from the umpire to see. And Robbins, the leading goal kicker, Hayden Robbins, with 140, I can't remember now, certainly well over the 100 goals for the year, will be having his first kick for the day, and he'll be shooting for goal from about 25, 30 metres out from goal in the pocket. And he probably put it through, which he has done. That's their first goal.
Great goal.
Since 10
it is
quarters,
a goal.
10 minutes into the first quarter.
It's a point, Bob.
It's a point.
Everyone's clapping, cheering, but no, the goal umpire has said, no, ladies and gentlemen, we've only got a point.
Well, that just shows Beaconsfield fans how unbiased I am, because I'd put it down for a goal for them. And it's Arvanatakis going deep on the far flank out towards Bethune. Up high goes Sherritt. Nobody can get it. Mantle's at the bottom of the pack. He knocks the ball forward. Hilton will pick it up. Handballs it quickly to Mackay. Mackay goes wide towards Edry and Vandermeer. Nobody can get it. Edry's first up. He's still got the ball. He takes the free kick for over the shoulder for a high tackle while he was on the ground. And Ben Edry at centre half forward kicks in short towards Clifford. But hasn't been picked up there. And it's Lee Clifford, for about his 12th possession of the game, has got the ball. It's certainly a bit far out for him to go, although he looks the way he's, unless he's looking for a lead now, he's going to drive. He's doing the Tooradin tactic. He's going to go deep into the square. He does. He tries to torp. It does come off to a certain degree. It's too high. Barton nearly marks it. McNally on top of the ball. Mack comes through hard. Hasty gets the ball out towards his brother and Hilton. As Hilton picks it up, handballs quickly to Brendan Robbins. He kicks it wide towards the forward pocket. Mark Amalfi will stand his ground here and mark firmly in the back pocket.
He handballs the ball backwards to Arvanatakis. Arvanatakis looks long. They're outnumbered here, Tooradin, but they're able to make a contest and get the ball out in front of their coach's box. It's out of bounds, and there'll be a throw in. And a very good game. I think, Beaconsfield realises that they have to make a move now. They can't afford to be waiting too much longer. That's
right. I was just thinking then, Derek, that I know Beaconsfield finish on hard, but they'll certainly have to kick a goal very soon. Here's a high tackle, I would say, on Kavanagh here, but no, we saw it easier than umpire senior did, and it's going to be a throw up here.
Yeah, they've got a man free, Tooradin, in the back line. So Beaconsfield must have a man free. Yes, Troy Cashman around the contest here, number 42 for Beaconsfield. As umpire senior says, ladies and gentlemen, have a look at this. I'll bounce the ball. As he bounces the ball, up goes Big Bethune. He gets his left hand to it. Amalfi, he's in the right spot. They know where to go. Hamill Shepherds. Mack, he just dropped the ball. Right in front of us here as the contest continues. Ross Jackson's free. Snyder comes in all over him. Yes, they keep their eye on the ball. Hilton looks to centre the ball. Scrubby old kick, but Dean Hastie's there. He just kicks the ball long. Blast off. Craig Lane's there. He's in front, and young Gillespie just caught him around the ear. Not your free kick, Ben, and unfortunately we have to go back to Craig Lane. Craig Lane, number 22. He looks to kick the ball across to Ed McNally. Ed McNally looks long. He's looking for Robbins. He's in the right spot. He can't quite hold him today. And in the contest, he kicks the ball towards the square, but nobody's there. You'll have to make ground. No, John Barton marks the ball right in the middle of the Beaconsfield forward line.
Their coolness in defence has been excellent, Derek, of Tooradin. When they have been in a bit of bother, they're very cool in defence and very experienced as well. And they were able to get the ball out on the half-back flank here. And it's Sherritt and Reardon went for the ball, but it's forced out of bounds on Beaconsfield's half-forward flank. 12 minutes into the second quarter, and it'll be Bethune and Mackay again going up in the ruck. Bethune, nobody gets it clear. It's going down hard as the Maltby there with the ball, and I think umpire Glover did have the ball. He didn't attempt to get it out, of course, and Lee Clifford has the free kick. Clifford with the free kick, going towards Robbins, and Arvanatakis dropping back beautifully as Snyder. Fine half-foot back flanker, Jim Snyder, and Snyder gets the ball. He goes out wide towards Bethune, now playing a great game as Blackley's back on the ground, I've noticed, and Mackay's obviously gone off.
That's right, Bob.
And Bethune on the half-back flank goes up towards centre-half forward, and Sherritt again. He stands his ground. Sherritt didn't even get off the ground as Hovey went for the ball, and Sherritt is marked. Now he'll go to, he won't get, yes he will. He went in short towards Kavanagh. I didn't see him there. Kavanagh in the centre of the ground. Here's a long kick like John Blakey. He goes towards an open goal. There's no one down there. Picked up by Studham. He goes across, handballs it towards Reynolds, who's now on as well. Derek, I didn't see him come on. He kicks it towards Evans and Edwards. Edwards playing Evans magnificently, has forced up a ball up there. A bit hard to get out. Evans playing Edwards beautifully at the same time.
That's right, and they might have to look at trying to get a little bit of drive and getting Edwards back into deep into Tooradin's back line, or Evans deep into Beaconsfield's forward line, and try and get someone else to give a little bit of drive through the middle of the ground there, as umpire Brad Senior looks to be bouncing the ball. There's a lot of players around the contest, a very open Tooradin forward line. As the ball goes up, Greg Bethune, big number 6, taps the ball on. Steve Hamill, very good in close. He gets the ball free. On it goes to young Jason Reynolds.
I think Reynolds is on him for Robbins, Brendan Robbins, who was a bit slow. Yep. No, Robbins is still out there. As Shattuck gets the ball, he dodges around Hasty, has one bounce. Doesn't go for a second. He now looks towards Shane Cashman. He gets the ball. He's a pretty freak goal kicker. Robbins has got the sit on Arvanatakis here, pushes him out of the way, and shows Arvanatakis the ball, as Arvanatakis tells umpire Senior, he pushed me out, and you didn't take any notice of it. Probably not in those words, but that's what he was thinking.
No, but he, again, I mean, a good team effort by bringing the ball into the middle. Robbins was there at the point of the square, able to use his strength. He's an experienced player, and he'll definitely kick this goal, Bob. We don't even have to watch. There it is. An experienced goal kicker, and he's in the right spot at the right time. Very well done. Shattuck's been able to provide a little bit of run. They look to bring Pym back onto the ground. Tooradin, number 2, as big Colin Plant comes off the ground. Just rotating the experienced players. Chris Pym, you know, he's very dangerous around goal, and they'll just look at sort of keeping him very close to home, and hopefully he can sneak a couple.
Yeah, well, Plant certainly came on and did his job. There was a bit of roughhouse tactics. He came on and provided the Tooradin counter to Beaconsfield, and now Studham has now gone on to Sherritt. Reardon's crossed over onto Hasty, and Robbins is picking up Pym. And that's probably the best bit of play from Beaconsfield, certainly for a long while, as they go to 4-3-27 to a 6-4-40.
Yes, and they needed that, Bob.
Oh, desperately needed it, Derek, because Tooradin had dominated the game for well over 30 minutes there, and with very little opposition from Beaconsfield. But Beaconsfield, as I said, they fought hard in these finals, and they certainly came back well there for a good goal. In fact, Robbins should have had 2, as umpire Glover now bounces the ball. It's Bethune and Blackley. Blackley gets the tap down towards Clifford. He breaks the tackle he gets a free kick, and umpire Glover will bring it back to Clifford in the centre of the ground. Clifford goes back to, he'll drive it long towards Robbins again, who's now starting to fire. The ball goes high. Shane Cashman picked up by Arvanatakis. A big kick out of nowhere. Hamill's kept out of the play by Clifford. Coming through hard as Sherritt. Does well. Gets it across to Hamill. Hamill goes deep to centre half. Garner will get on his chest. Oh, he normally takes those, Garney, but he didn't in this case. Pym's bumped out of the way. Robbins picks the ball up, goes towards the boundary on the safe place. It was the only place he could go, and Brendan Robbins has put it out in Tooradin's forward pocket. And normally John Garn would mark those ones on the chest, but that was good play by Walker.
Yeah, just got a hand in there. Very well done. Tooradin 6-4 to Beaconsfield 4-3. We're about 17 minutes gone in the second quarter, as the ball's thrown in on the main entry side of the ground. The ball's thrown in. Clifford waiting at the back, gets the ball, scrubby sort of a kick. Blackley pushes his way through the contest. Kavanagh, very smart player, kicks the ball again, long to the square. They're wrestling, they're playing. No free kicks. as the ball's again cleared by Brendan Robbins, and he gets the ball out of bounds again on the netball side of the ground this time, Bob.
Yeah, very good defensive play on 2 occasions there by Robbins. I suggested he was a bit slow before, but he's very cool in the crisis there on 2 occasions. I noticed too, Derek, that young Hasty, who played so well in the last game, has been kept right out of it this time. Now the ball goes up high. It's picked up here by Studham. He gets the ball to Clifford. Clifford handballs it wide towards Reynolds, but umpire Glover's calling a ball up 20 metres out from the Tooradin goal. And Tooradin will be looking to answer that Beaconsfield goal just to show them that they are in the ascendancy at this stage. But there's very little between the two sides this quarter. Tooradin have added a goal and Beaconsfield have added 1 goal 1 as the ball's bounced down. Picked up here, gang tackled is Sherritt, and a lot of tackling, fierce tackling going on, Derek, isn't there? Not being given the opportunities to break away and create movement on the forward line. As you said before, there's a heck of a lot of players around the ball. Down it goes again. It's Studden pushing Garn out of the way. Gets the ball wide towards Hilton. He's a very clever player with all that league he's spared. Taps it towards McNally. McNally taps it on to Reardon, I think it is. He goes short towards Troy Cashman. He's calling his players down as he's running down. Goes deep towards Robin on the chest. He's marked that all right. And now Hayden Robbins now starting to show a bit of form. He goes in short towards, who is it?
Ed
Donaldson.
McNally.
Ed McNally. McNally's run down the ground in the centre and made good position about 35 metres out from goal. Not well within his kicking distance. He normally an accurate kick for goal, Ed McNally, and he shouldn't. He spits on his mouth guard. I don't know what that's going to help with his kicking habits, but he did put it back in his mouth. And he's going to line this one up 35 metres out, kicks it high, long and straight and through for a goal.
Beautiful kick. And interesting that Robbins, who I believe was in kicking range there, was able to share the ball with his teammate. Again, just the experience of Troy Cashman being able to get the ball free. Hilton obviously before him tapping the ball on. But McNally certainly made good ground because he was in that contest. He was able to get the ball free to Matt Reardon, who's then kicked it on to Troy Cashman and able to make position in the middle of the ground. So, yeah, hopefully they can get a little bit of run. We've had another change, Bob, with young Aaron Hasty coming off the ground, number 3, and being replaced by the big fella Shane Cook.
Yeah, as I said, Hasty hadn't been playing well. I thought his left foot would be a real advantage today, but of course they're watching the same as they're watching Evans from the other side. Picked up here by Amalfi, not playing so well this quarter. Gets towards Bethune. Teammates didn't talk to him. Sherritt knocks it on towards Egan. He'll be tackled here. He gets the ball out towards Cook, but he can't get it, and the ball's in the pack now. It's the it's the Beaconsfield on ballers that are playing well at this particular stage, taking over from where Sherritt and Hamill and Amalfi were doing well in the first quarter. And umpire Glover, pushing the players away from the ball, give him a chance to bounce the ball, and it'll be Mackay back on the ground and Bethune. Bethune knocks it forward towards Sherritt. He gets his kick out wide towards Hamill. Gillespie runs onto it. He should have let Hamill come through and shepherded. He didn't. Mackay gets the ball. Handballs to Reardon, playing a great game. Wide towards Shane Cashman. Coming over the top is Jackson.
Yes, and Snyder, read the play off the contest. It's a smother from Clifford over the back. Studham's there. Can he get it clear to his teammate? No, Clifford's in there again. The balls are just a scramble. On it goes. Pushed out. Out it goes to Donaldson. He looks to get a scrambly kick forward again. Matt Reardon's there. He tackles Hasty. It's a gang tackle by 2 of them there from Beaconsfield. And I think they've lifted their ratings at the moment, Beaconsfield. They're looking to push forward and get another goal and go in even Stevens at half-time.
They certainly are. And I know Tooradin a lot of leaning over on their hands, on their knees at the moment. They weren't doing it in the first quarter as if they put everything into the first quarter. And now the ball's bounced down by umpire senior. Mackay gets in front of, and he gets the tap out towards Donaldson. He kicks it wide towards Airdrie and Vandermeer. Airdrie will have the pace on Vandermeer, but Vanders will just follow him through to the boundary, and he helps force it across on the half-back flank for Tooradin. Tooradin still leading at this stage, 6-4-40 to 5-3-33.
As Robbins has gone to full forward, they've put Airdrie up the ground a little bit away from him. Cashman's come onto the ground with Snyder picking him up and playing around the half-forward line as the ball's thrown in. That's the Beaconsfield forward line. Someone's been held. Mark Glover, very animated there in the middle. And it's a Tooradin free kick. Who's got that there?
Mantell.
Yes, Justin Mantle kicks the ball. Only a young player kicks the ball forward. And only one who ran at the ball, Cook. He looks to kick the ball clear. Oh, great mark there again. Who's that, John Garn?
He's a great mark on the chest, Norm. As I said, he handballs across to his brother-in-law, the other member of the Mafia in Steve Hamill. Hamill goes deep. He's just banging away at goals all day today, Hamill. It should have been marked there by Robin. No, they pushed it through. Thought Robbins would have marked that ball. And that's their first score since the first minute of the quarter. And they go to 6-5, 41 to 5-3, 33, leading by 11 points, 7 points at this particular stage.
Yeah, if they can, Beaconsfield should go straight down the middle. They're looking to kick the ball clear to Hovey, Chris Hovey, who's up in the contest. Ben Mackay was running in support, kicks the ball off his right side, just trying to keep the ball in. Shane Cashman's there, along with Snyder, and the ball's rushed over the boundary line. He had a little bit more time than that, Ben Mackay, maybe a little bit more talk around the contest, but Hovey was clearly the player that Studham was looking for at the kick-in from their full-back line, as the ball's thrown in now.
Certainly was, as Mackay and Bethune. Again, Mackay using his young body, gets up high. Gillespie picks it up. He's tackled on towards Edwards. Edwards pushes it up towards Cook. Bethune takes the rebound. He drives it deep up towards full forward. Pym and Robbins go for the ball. Pym hits the ground as Robin gets clear. He drives it round the boundary again, playing very good defensive football this quarter. Brendan Robbins, whenever they've looked in trouble, he just glides the ball around rugby style towards the boundary, and that's 3 times now he's pushed it out to Beaconsfield's advantage. And the ball will be thrown in on Tooradin's half-forward flank. 21 to nearly 25 minutes into the quarter, goes up high. Bethune pushes it towards his goal, running it onto his Gillespie and Reynolds. Reynolds is in front. He doesn't pick up the ball. It's now pushed out towards the boundary line. And in the dying minutes of the quarter now, Tooradin will be looking for a score to keep themselves in front at half-time, but it's been a great contest, and they've come back well this quarter, Beaconsfield, after looking very much out of it at quarter-time because of the strength of the Tooradin centre-men. Up high, Jackson gets the knockdown, pushed down. It's become a rough and tumble as umpire Senior tries to get the ball out, but nothing happens, and it's a ball up again as there's about 20 players on the ball.
Yes, and I think the move of Reynolds into the back pocket's been beneficial to Beaconsfield. He's been able to give them a little bit of run. They've paid a free kick here, have they? They've paid a free kick to John Garn. While we were thinking it's a ball up, John Garn's now got the ball. He's probably some 30 metres out on probably a 45-degree angle. Now, I didn't see anything there,
nothing
Bob.
Nothing at all. There didn't look to be anything, and certainly there was no animation by anybody, but Garney's come up with the ball. There's something's happening. Normally a good kick for goal. He'll head for the right-hand goal post, and he drifted towards the left-hand one as Garn comes in. Could be a vital goal for Tooradin. John Garn, 35 metres out for goal. Does head for the right-hand goal post. He's listening to me too much, and the ball went in the straight line and through for one behind. 6-6-42 now, Tooradin to 5-3-33.
That would have been very, very handy, particularly going in at half-time. We're 25, 26 minutes gone now, and I think it just would have given them a bit of a confidence booster. But they do look a little bit tired. Look, they're playing and they're in front, but they do look a little bit tireder at this stage than Beaconsfield. As the ball goes up, Big Mackay, he contests the ball with young Gillespie as Ed McNally breaks free. Traditionally, he's been doing that. He kicks the ball long, looking for Ben Edry. He's in front. Oh, he's been pushed from behind, and the umpire Glover's picked that up. Edry, he needs to move the ball on very quickly. Get back off the mark, kicks the ball long, looking for Robbins. He's way in front. No, well done, well done. A great handball coming off the back of the pack from Shane Cashman.
Tarkus is hurt there, Derek. I believe he's hurt his shoulder. He flew high to get the ball away, and it's gone. I think you'll find he's got a bit of a problem there.
Well, Robbins has certainly dragged him to the ground. I mean, he was contesting the ball, and he's grabbed hold of him underneath, put him under his arm and dragged him down, so it might not have landed the way he would have normally liked. As he kicks out from full back to the far side of the ground, he's looking for Big Bethune. Up he goes from behind, Mackay. He's been very good in the last couple of minutes. Handball's on from Tooradin out to Steve Hamill, who's always running free and forward of the ball. Oh, Cookie should have gone then. Robbins breaks through. Can't quite get it. Oh, great tackle there, and yes, dropping the ball. He pinned his arms.
You're right there, well tackled, but you're right before too. Cook should have gone for the ball, but it's probably the lack of experience as Egan goes towards Gillespie. He's marked. No, he hasn't. It fell through. He should have held it. Picked up by Robbins. Handballs it across the ground. Not picked up by Cook. Comes into a pack again. Getting the ball out there. It looks like Brendan Robbins at the bottom of the pack, and there'll be another ball up this time 20 metres out from the Tooradin goal, as we now reach the 26 minutes mark in the second quarter.
6-6 Tooradin to Beaconsfield 5-4, 42 points to 34. What have we got here? We've got a blood rule. Young Ben McKay, number 36, the ruckman from Beaconsfield. Only a young fella. His father played league football. I'm not sure whether he played senior games, but certainly was down at Hawthorn, Bob.
Oh, right. Yes, I know the family now, yeah. And young Mackay certainly has done well. Lack of experience on a couple of occasions here today. He's, as you said, gone off with the blood rule, but it won't be a huge loss at this stage. They give Blackley another run before half-time, and they have been interchanging those two players anyway. And there'll be a ball up, and Blackley's run straight out towards standing on Bethune. Has played a great game for his side. Neither of those two are going to contest the bounce down here by umpire Glover. It's bounced down, pushed out by Garn and picked up by Hamill. He's tackled by about 26 players at this particular stage, and the ball will be another bounce down. Tooradin will be looking for a goal here in the dying stages. This, as you said, Derek, just to give them that bit of a leeway. The ball's bounced, picked up by Mansell. Mansell takes the ball from the pack and hits the point post and puts it out of bounds.
Yes, and there certainly would be near on no time left in this second quarter. Everyone will be looking for a rest and a bit of a breather at half-time.
Well, there's only been 3 goals kicked for the quarter, so there certainly won't be much time on this quarter, Derek, as it's Robbins with the ball. He goes wide towards the boundary again, goes over Reynolds' head, but he gets the ball, handballs it back. Picked up here by Sherritt on the wing. He'll go deep with a torp towards goal. Nobody can mark it. Coming through, it's Clifford in front of the pack. Drops it in short, looking for Shattuck. Shattuck will pick the ball up, drives up towards Airdrie again, pushed out of McNally's way. Coming through is Shane Cashman. He'll get the ball here. Hasty battles on well with him. Dumping in is McNally again, a great fighter. Amalfi gets the ball, hasn't had a great quarter. Airdrie picks the ball, breaks clear of Mantell, goes towards Evans, who's hardly been seen since his early sortie in the second quarter. Out towards Jackson. He's free now. Jackson handballs to Troy Cashman. He can't pick it up. He's now got it. He'll go deep towards Robbins. One out with Arvin Atakis. Nobody marks. Picked up by Evans. Now this, if he gets clear, it's beautifully tackled. Picked up by Shane Cashman. He's kicked it. Now whether they'll play a score here, yes they will. They'll play a score. One more point. And at half-time, it's Beaconsfield 5-5 for 35, trailing Tooradin 6-6-42. Your opinions, Derek, of the first half of the game?
Well, I thought it started off blaze of glory with Beaconsfield. Tooradin then stormed home to go in at quarter time with a very handy lead, 34 points to 20. The second quarter was, look, there wasn't a lot of scoring done, but there was certainly a lot of running and hustling and bustling from both sides. I thought towards the latter part, although Tooradin sort of looked a little bit more dangerous scoring-wise, you know, with John Garding having an opportunity and the ball certainly up that end, I thought Beaconsfield just sort of looked to be coming a little bit better with their running style of game. It'll be interesting to see how they come out after half-time. Bob, and your thoughts?
I agree with you. They kicked 2 goals, 3 in that quarter, Beaconsfield, to Tooradin's 1 goal, 2, and they were looking fresher as the more the quarter progressed, the more the better Beaconsfield look. And I see Lee Clifford's out there now having a talk to the players. He's got them in a tight group. He's yelling at them, but I think he's yelling encouragement more than abuse, and he's bringing the side in. Their heads are a bit down, but I don't think that means that they're too worried about it. And at the Jeff Hilton bringing up the rear, encouraging the players as they come in, and they don't look overly concerned with the state of the game at this particular stage. As we look back at the Tooradin side, Garney's bringing the side in now, leading the side in, and they're just also, I think they're taking in a few more deep breaths than what the opposition players are. And I'm just looking to see if the young fellow Lewin that got hurt there early in the game is back out on the ground. Is he back out on the ground there? Yes,
yeah,
he is there.
That's him without the headgear.
He still looks pretty sick at half-time. As we say, now you're better players to half-time, Derek?
Oh, well, I think looking at Tooradin, from Tooradin's point of view, Sherritt's been good. I mean, not in any particular order. Sherritt, Steve Hamill's been good. Greg Bethune, he's rucked without a change. He's been very good for them. I think Arvin Tarkus has been very good backline, in their backline. Vandermeer's obviously been giving him a bit of a chop out. And Mark Amelfi, a fella that you've taken a bit of a liking to. He's certainly played well.
Well, he certainly played well in the first quarter, but I felt he dropped off a bit there. Snyder was also good in defence, but I probably agree with they were the better players. Hamill dropped out of the game there. Kavanagh dropped out of the game. They were good players in the first quarter. And for Beaconsfield?
Well, I think Lee Clifford's probably, he's the engine room from Beaconsfield, and obviously they need him firing. Ed McNally's kicked too. He's been a good player. I'm just not sure whether he's suited more particularly to a ruck roving sort of changing half forward flank role, or whether he should be, he's been a very good wingman in previous times. I think their half back line's been, pretty reasonable without being, overly flash. And I think young Ben Mackay being on the ground can actually give them a little bit more versatility. Yeah. And that's certainly not taking anything away from Troy Blackley. But Jeff Hilton certainly showing his experience.
That's
Bob.
Right, certainly has, and I agree with that. And as I said, with Brendan Robbins, some of his defensive work in the second quarter was excellent as well. The player, Airdrie, came into the game. Airdrie and Robbins, they're two key forwards. You suggested that Robbins should go back to full forward, which he did, and got the ball a few times, and Airdrie started to move around a bit there in the latter half of the quarter. Evans certainly been out of the game, but as John Garn said to me, it sounds like I've been talking to John Garn a bit during the week.
You have.
In fact, he took my wife home one night. Just because he didn't have a car.
Thank you. I was just waiting for clarification there. I was very silent.
But Clint Evans, he did say that Clint Evans couldn't kick another 8 goals, and he's the defensive work of Edwards, I think he's to be congratulated on being able to keep Clint Evans out of the game at this stage.
He's done a top job. But I think, in fairness to everyone, and I like to look at it from a non-biased point of view, I think Tooradin haven't got as much capability of going any better. Maybe probably a little bit, through their forward structure, they can take a few more marks and things like that. But I think, generally speaking, Beaconsfield's players have all got a little bit of capacity to lift.
Yeah.
And I think if Tooradin can sort of, just keep the close checking and defensive sort of side to their game, if they've got an opportunity to tackle and draw them to the ground, that will obviously just keep drawing the power out of Beaconsfield. But I think Beaconsfield, if they're able to get that little bit of run, Reynolds has come onto the ground, and I think look, that he's a little bit underrated because he does give them drive. He's prepared to run and get a handball off bigger fellas like Studham and Hovey and players like that.
Well, Hovey was another player that's also played well. I thought he had an excellent half on the half. You did mention the half back line, but I thought Hovey's work and Reardon have both played certainly a lot better than I thought they were playing. Conditions might suit them, and their opposition, well, they've got Airdrie off, not Airdrie, they've got Aaron Hasty off the ground already and he was a key player last time they met. Yes, I agree that Tooradin have probably played to their max, and it'll be certainly a great second half of footy.
We look forward to rejoining you at the start of the third quarter.